and concisely. And once you learn how to do that, then you can bring in all the stakeholders and you can get into programs that'll help you and train you on how to build it. But that first step is you have to design a business model that is desirable.
When I initially moved back to Pensacola, I had a meeting with Lloyd. Lloyd invited me for breakfast, and I was telling him, man, I still have an idea for the entertainment industry. This is what I wanted to do. He was like, all right, I got Startup on the Blocks. So I need you to start coming to Startup on the Blocks and get a little more information on how to work through the tech ecosystem and take your idea and we'll get you where you need to go. My company is called The Know, is an app that is streamlining business for the entertainment industry. Yeah, so if you're a musician, what you would do is pretty much jump on the platform, you'll create a profile, but the way we created the profile is pretty much a cleaner way. So now if they want more information about you, you'll connect your social media platforms, your streaming platforms, and that way they can go directly to it. What we also have included is your calendar. So pretty much you can set your days, you can set your price for your days and automate your booking. So initially talking to Lloyd, my idea was all here, it was there, it was over here, it was over there. It was like, all right, Quinn, I get it. You got a lot that you want to do, but we need you to bring it in just a little bit and then work on your pitch, your story, and how you're going to bring it full circle to get people to understand what you're trying to create.
Most of the programs here wasn't inclusive. And so we said we'll focus on helping founders of color. We also start at the beginning of the thing, at the idea stage, whereas a lot of the programs you see here locally, they start after you're up and that's not very efficient unless if you don't have a lot of money, you can't recover from your mistakes. And the Lean Startup system, it actually helps you make mistakes faster before you spend a lot of money. You don't actually start building anything until you got customer buy-in.
There was a need for small businesses to bring brand awareness to their business. I see there's a lot of makers and bakers that they're making all of these goodies and these products, but they can't market it, they can't sell it at the same time, and there needs to be kind of like that middleman, that middle person to help bring economic growth to some of the small businesses in Pensacola. So Taste of Pensacola, I came up with that idea during the pandemic when I saw things at that time that Amazon couldn't fulfill. They didn't even have those products, but the local people in the community, they did. And so there was a ton of people coming out saying, hey, I make masks. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. All the local people here that are just as talented that can actually make those products. And so I wanted to kind of showcase who they were. So with Taste of Pensacola, our income streams, we have several of them. We have the corporate America, we do corporate gifting, just regular consumers, different Pensacola natives that don't live here that want to purchase our boxes, like a taste of weddings, distribution. So we also do bulk sales. So for a private airline, if they want some local snacks and goodies on their passenger flights, they will come to Taste of Pensacola and we will source their vendors here locally. And we'll give a small business owner an opportunity to have reoccurring monthly sales. I've always had a really big vision for Taste of Pensacola. I knew that it could go beyond just local. I know that maybe other communities could possibly use the same platform that I'm trying to build. And I always have these big visions, but I never know how to even get there. Where do I start? I know it's more than, there's a lot of technical things behind it. I know there's a lot of research, but that connection, I never had it until, thankfully, I met and was introduced to Startups on the Blocks and was able to just learn more about how to grow it in terms of data. Things I just never thought about, framework, words like traction. There's a lot of things that I just did not know about and language that I need to know in order to get funding for my business. There's just a lot that I didn't know.
I would go to the stores and look online. They didn't have a wide variety of natural hair products about 8 years ago. And the ones that they did have, the ingredients, it would say that they were all natural. And when I would research the ingredients, a lot of the ingredients were not natural. I make everything, my shampoo, conditioner, I have an oil that I make, and I have 2 different separate butters. Like I had some people who were completely bald and grew their hair. It's about giving women their confidence back in their hair. I have this salon and then I have a second salon, and I have my products in about 5 beauty supply stores. So I need a manufacturer to keep up with the demand at this point. Startup on the Blocks has helped my business grow. Send me to different people. I'm able to do different pitch competitions to apply for grants in the community for small businesses. Lloyd's a really good person to connect with. He has a lot of resources here in the community that can help small businesses grow. If you have a product out there and you're trying to go big time, he's the person that you would want to meet with.
So it's really important to have some type of support because 9 times out of 10, most founders start out on their own. And to have somebody that has an idea of how the ecosystem works and is able to tap into other resources and bring back to the community, and that pretty much has encountered some of the roadblocks or going through the same roadblocks that we're currently going through and understands where you're at, your culture and how you respond to things, is a big help because you don't really have too many people that have access to what we have access to here in the community. And a lot of people believe that you have to leave and go to bigger cities to do the things that we're doing here. But I mean, it's one thing to have exposure, but you have to actually know it's here in the community in order to take advantage of the resources. So I get approached and I talk to friends all the time that wants to either start an idea or hear that I'm actually doing the app and wants to know more information about how are you doing it or what's the process, what's the path. I'm like, man, we have somebody here, Startup on the Blocks, Lloyd Richard. And Lloyd is here, he's a great resource to the community and to founders that's trying to learn the ecosystem. So join Startup on the Blocks.
All righty. Hello. My name is Lloyd Richard Jr., and I am filling in for my father, Lloyd Richard Sr., for our weekly Startup on the Blocks online show. And so I'm excited to welcome our guest, Shantia Lee. I'm going to bring you on up, Shantia. How are you?
I am great. Good.
Wonderful.
How are you tonight?
Thank you. I'm good. I'm not often in the leading position when it comes to this, to the Startup on the Blocks, but I'm excited to share this time with you. I know you have been a part of our cohorts in the past, and you were just on in last April. And so we're excited to kind of see what has happened since last year. So we'll talk a little bit about that. A little bit before we get started, I have a few slides that I want to kind of go through just to introduce to everybody about what's going on. But we'll just use it as kind of a conversation just to talk about some of these experiences that you've, since you've been through the program a little bit, you can kind of speak to some of the things that we have been doing. So first, I would love to highlight some of our business partners that we have. Institute with Startups on the Blocks. That is the Blacks in Technology Foundation. We ran several cohorts with them over the pandemic and a couple of years afterwards, and that allowed us to be able to really hone in how we're going to present our Black Founders Program, which we are currently in. We have, of course, Coda, which is a wonderful application that allows us to use it as a CRM, to create documents, to create whole web pages. It's like a catch-all for anything that you want to do with your organization or startup. Make Startups, we've partnered with them with a special access to their assessment of individual startups to see like where you are and to follow your progress through that. They have a patented way in which they do that, and we are excited to have access to that. PitchBot.io. Shantia, did my father talk to you about that at all, PitchBot?
No, I think you guys added that after I went through the 30 days, so I definitely want to learn more about that.
Yes, it's a cool little bot that allows you to create whole slides and a pitch deck for your startup. So you just put in the prompt of what your startup is like and what it asks you. You follow the questions, and it answers it all. It's kind of crazy. So all those slides that you have to do for the demo days that you won, which you won, so you know the deal. So all those slides that you have to do, it literally helps create that. So you don't even have to figure out the color scheme or anything like that. It does all that for you. So that's really exciting. So we'll definitely have to probe him about that next time you talk with him. Of course, Lean Stack, which I know you're grossly familiar which is our partnership with Ash Mariah to have a platform for our startups in the Black Founder Program through our Blacks in Technology Foundation connection that we had before partnership. We all use the Lean Stack method for business planning for startups and the Lean Canvas model. So we go through those trainings with the business model design, which is our 30-day cohort. And in our 90-day accelerator, we also go through the Lean Stack model as well to get to your minimum viable product and your Mafia offer. So that being said, it is a lot. It's constantly evolving. And I'll definitely ask you in a little bit about your experience with Lean Stack.
Yeah.
But we have several coaches that come along with that and mentors that are specifically trained to answer your questions when it comes to the processes of being a startup. Black Innovation Leaders of Florida, we're talking a little bit more about them as well. And Black Innovation Alliance, two organizations that are really looking to spearhead artificial intelligence and the economy in the state of Florida for Black entrepreneurship. And then, of course, Goody Nation, which is kind of being blocked by the banner here. But Goody Nation is a wonderful resource based up in Atlanta that literally takes nonprofits and organizations through a training to build their platforms, and it's kind of like a support group for organizations. So to speak.
Funny, I just got accepted into their Next Gen program.
Congratulations!
So, yes, orientation kicked off this week, so I was like, "Oh, goody, yes."
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. And what has been your experience so far with them and what they're doing?
Well, we just literally had the orientation, but so far, they have provided free meetings. So I'm meeting with someone to go over my investor readiness.
Mhm.
I'm meeting with someone to talk about my sales process. That's huge for me because I do B2B. So in the education industry, it's kind of a long sales cycle. So I cannot wait to see what type of feedback they give, because that's one of the questions I often get from investors is, how are you going to be successful in a tough market? Education, I mean, it can be done, but they just want to see what's your plan and how are you going to do it. So far, free meetings with investor readiness, meeting with the sales cycle, and then there's another one. I haven't booked that one yet, but it's basically your product readiness. So I will let you know next time we speak.
Awesome. Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that you started that, because this
Yeah.
is, even for Kukui Institute, it has been a real boom to follow the progress of what we're doing, how we're creating and developing what we are now being able to offer through with our partnership with Florida Power and Light. So that it is going to be something that you'll definitely feel the change. You'll feel the change
nice.
right away.
Okay.
Awesome. And so we'll go through a little bit. Here's some of our other sponsors that we have. I won't list them all, but they're all up here. A lot of local banks and other parts of our startup ecosystem here in Pensacola. And I definitely have to highlight the Florida Power and Light, because we would not be able to run our cohorts and give you the prize winning money without their support. So they directly support the Black Founder Program.
Well, I'm going to have to use this on my, this is all divine. So I'm applying for 35 Mules. They have an accelerator for 100K investment, and it's ran by Florida Power and Light. So now I will say, hey, you've already invested in me once. So now let's just triple those zeros.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that's actually one of the things that my father wanted me to discuss was the 35 Mules program. You're like, not competition, no. But no, we want to definitely make sure that all of our founders that are within our program and that are interested in coming into the program feel like they can apply. You have until April 1st at 5 p.m. to do that. And I wanted to kind of see if I could share a little bit of the website and kind of what to kind of look forward to. So I'll show a little video from that. Give me one moment. I'll pull that up here for you. Let me share my screen.
Our first 6 startups found so much success throughout the 35 Mules program. They secured investment. They worked with subject matter experts to take their businesses to the next level, and we're so proud of everything that they accomplished. And now we're so excited to welcome our second cohort of 7 companies. You know, they're already inspiring us, and their technology is just tremendous. I know that they're going to find the same success and grow their businesses right here in Florida. Stay tuned. Follow us on this journey. There's so much more to come.
I am Parth Shah, the co-founder of Abilitaire.
I'm Mohit Patil, co-founder of Abilitaire.
My name is James Faris, and I'm the founder and CEO of Bond Energy.
I'm Nikki Brugger, and I'm the co-founder of Digital Twin Marine.
My name's Tom Brugger. I'm a co-founder of Digital Twin Marine.
My name's Nigel Barry. I'm the founder and CEO of Intelfuse.
I am Ramon Soto, founder and CEO of Sensatech.
I'm Hadley Doyle Gonzalez, president and co-founder of SMG Delivering Data.
My name is Jorge Gonzalez. I am co-founder and director of flight operations for SMG Delivering Data.
I'm Ben Jodit, founder and CEO at Riptera.
All righty. So getting to put some faces to what's going on over there, I think it's kind of exciting. What do you understand about the 35 Mules program already, Shantia?
Yeah, so exactly what I'm looking for, because I need more of the like that personalized, hands-on, and it seems like they literally pair you with the mentor through the process. You go in person in Juno Beach, Florida for 2 to 3 days out of the week. And so the hands-on, I feel like, is what will help me get to the next level, because I've done a lot and I'm super proud of my success, but it's been a solo journey. So to be able to have support, people who probably have connections in education, connections with getting pilot programs, connections with getting partners, and even investments. One relationship can change your entire progress in your business. All you need is one introduction. So.
Absolutely. And I think that's the thing that's so important for our founders that have come through the 30-day or the 90-day program, is that they have to have that next step, that next space of mentorship, that next space of growth. And clearly, Florida Power and Light is determined to make sure that Black founders specifically get into that space, to be able to step into that. And so just hearing you're already giving me little tidbits already before we even get started of the amount of work that you've done with College Thrive to really, Thriver to really bloom into that. So I'm excited about it. I got a few more slides and then we will go into our interview. So we have Shantia here. You can wave, beautiful, love the hair. And some of the training that we offer here, we have several things. Lean Stack, as we spoke about before, Startup Science, which is another method to set up your startup and to work through the brainstorming of that. Co-founder OS, and Patent Hacks, which is specifically for patented to work through classes of understanding how to patent your IP or your specific method or your actual device that you have created, if you have created those things. So definitely something that you want to pay attention to as a founder if you're trying to look to grow and find those resources for your startup. We have the other thing that is really big that my father and I have been in a lot of discussion about. Usually I'm in the background, not so often in the foreground like we're doing tonight, but we have been working on the Black Founders Innovation Summit, AI as a pathway to wealth, empowerment, and legacy. If you were there last April and you experienced the wonderful conversations and talks that were about dynastic wealth, about about startups starting from the ground up. We literally had a lady who said she was homeless during her startup, and now she's moving forward. I mean, it was an incredible event. We have food catered for the 2 days, and you spend time at DeVillers Square working through inspiring workshops about how to use AI and implement it. It is about innovation, and right now, innovation in startups is part of that is through AI, and it's helping people figure out their business processes and figuring out their strategy on how they're going to penetrate the market. So we encourage you to come out. The registration is already available, innovation.kukuainstitute.org. Again, that's innovation.kukuainstitute.org. Definitely get there, register. It's a 2-day event. It is free, and we are still getting all of our speakers together. And so once we have all those speakers together, we will announce them, but it will be dynamic. I believe last show or the week before last, my father shared a video, and we're trying to get some of those speakers to come in to talk about how AI is shifting the landscape, and we want to have them here in person or online to be a part of leading some of our panel discussions. Shantia, did you hear about the summit last year?
So yes, actually, I was invited as a panelist. And funny story, I am horrible with directions, so you would not believe what I did. I went to Sarasota instead of Pensacola.
Sarasota? I mean, sunsets are nice there.
Yeah, so funny story, but yes, I was invited to be a panelist. I was in my car, my husband and I are on the way. I'm just like, oh, I'm super excited. I pulled up to the hotel.
Wow.
And Sarah, same name and everything. I literally put in the address. Yeah. I just went to the wrong part of the region.
Oh no. Yeah. So Innisfree, they have hotels around the state. So it's really one of our sponsors. So they're connected with so many chains and everything like that. It's pretty incredible. But yeah, so we definitely want you to get out there for April 18th and 19th. But I'll make sure the address is on it to make sure you come to Pensacola, Florida. I love that. But hopefully you had a great vacation.
So we turned it into a beach day, and it was phenomenal. So
yeah, no, that's amazing. That's amazing. And there's a few of these slides here that my father usually goes through, talking about how in the Lean Stack method here, how you break down all the Lean canvases, because as you well know, you don't just make one Lean canvas, you got to make a lot of Lean canvases in order to hone down which one is going to be the most effective to generate funds. Yeah. Yes. So you got to do that. So this shows kind of that process step by step, and doing interviews. In the 90-day, you have to do interviews with people who would potentially buy your product and why or why not they have shifted and those kind of things. Really, really exciting work. And then in the startup science, they kind of just show you the method. And one of the things that I loved about the founder of Startup Science when he came on to the show, he talked about, if you have an idea, even if you're at the idea stage, you need to think about how you're going to sell your business or how you're going to get out of it. And I was just like, what?
That's what we're in it for.
Exactly.
We want to be acquired.
Exactly. So I just thought that was just so exciting. So it really starts framing that mindset, which my father is so big on talking about, framing the mindset of a founder. Here's some of our team that you get to work with. I'm sure many of you have seen a lot of them. There I am in the middle. My nice headshot. But they're all there to help and support in whatever capacity as we've gone through it. And then like Rosarian, for example, came through with one of our cohorts and has since been able to help throughout the cohorts, just being a mentor to some of the other startups. So it's just been really crazy to see how that's worked out. Corey and Vince are really great. Corey is an investor, so he talks the money, and he won't let it go until you get it right. And Vince shows us those innovative ways in order to make sure that your startup is running, and he's very motivating in his speech about that kind of stuff. So we appreciate all of our startup coaches here, and several of them have the Lean Stack certification, so they can they went through the training with Ash to make sure that they are ready to go. We take you from formation to validation to growth, and that takes some time. And so as you see through this short process here, it kind of shows you how to move into that space. Lastly is this chart, which I'm sure you're grossly familiar with from the Lean Stack method. Our 30-day business model design is down there in the orange and green area. That's that beginning stage. But then as you move forward through to the 90-day, you'll see in 3 months, that 3-month time period under there, that's what you're working through. That 90 days is that 3 months to get you to a minimal viable product, customer solution fit, and then product market fit, to really pushing you into that space. So it's really exciting stuff that we're working on here, but I think we kind of need to talk about College Thriver a little bit. So Shantia, thank you so much for being here today, and tell us, for those people who are tuning in for the first time, give us a little bit of background about you and College Thriver.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me. Love Lloyd. He is amazing. So pleasure to see everyone tonight. My name is Shantia Lee. I'm located right here in Orlando, Florida, and I am the founder of College Thriver. College Thriver is a mobile-based application that helps first-generation and low-income students get connected to colleges, scholarships, and mentorship all in one single platform. So I kind of created it with my own struggles as a first-generation student. So when I first went to college, I had no clue what type of major I should pursue, where I should go. And I ended up dropping my major about 3 different times. Took me 7 years to graduate with a bachelor's with $120,000 in debt. And after those struggles of like not having anyone to guide me, I then pursued a career in college admissions, where over the last 15 years, I am now also guiding other students just like myself overcome these same challenges. So it's been a beautiful journey, of course, ups and downs with College Thriver. We actually celebrate 5 years in April.
Wow.
So I am honored to be one of those few founders who, because usually there's I think 90% of startups fail before the first 5 years.
Yeah.
So I am honored to be one that's still standing, even with the bruises, still standing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just doing what I love to do, which is truly helping students realize that they can have these ambitious goals. They can be the first in their family, like myself, to break that generational poverty. It can happen. We just need to connect them to the right resources.
Yeah.
And so right now we are mentoring and giving back. We're partnered with Junior Achievement, which is an organization that helps youth, as well as Upward Bound of Rollins College.
Okay.
And so we really go into the community, so very community focused, to really say, how can we help? How can we serve? And to just let others know, because to be honest with you, in the school districts, the guidance counselors are just overwhelmed. They don't have the time to sit down and do the proper research for every single student. It's about 350 students to one guidance counselor sometimes.
Wow.
So just imagine, how much time do they really have to say, I need to create every single one of these students a personalized plan, is kind of actually impossible.
Yeah.
So with the College Thriver tool, it's like a productivity app for the guidance counselor, where it does all the research for them. All they have to do is input the student's info, GPA, SAT, ACT scores, and we run the algorithm for them.
Wow. Okay, so you mentioned that beautiful A word, algorithm.
Yeah.
So, one of the big things that Lloyd Sr. is really excited about is AI integration into what you're doing. So that was one of the first things that I was going to really jump in and ask about for you. You're meeting these students in high school and in college, because the Upward Bound program, they're already in college.
No, so actually the Upward
Oh,
Bound
no.
program is a high school to college track, but they're still
Okay.
in high school. They
Ah,
just
okay.
go to the college to get the mentorship is how I can pretty much
Okay, yeah.
So they haven't went to college yet. But yeah, so my ultimate goal right now, we have been piloting with juniors and seniors. My ultimate goal is to build this out from 6th to 12th grade.
Okay.
Because the sooner you start preparing for college, the better you will position yourself to get in those competitive colleges and scholarship. Like everybody's trying to avoid student loans these
Yes.
days.
Yes.
So it's getting more and more competitive to get scholarships as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you're saying this. So many people may know this who are watching, but some people don't. I am not in the startup world in the way that my father is, in the mentorship side of that. But I am a music instructor and a performer. And so I have a lot of students, and one of my students just recently got accepted to go to Stetson University and in music. So we've been working together for some years and everything like that. And so I'm very proud teacher moment. But one of the things that came up was that he was on a website, and maybe you're familiar with it. I don't know. I can't even remember what the website is to tell you, but it was a website that he literally could put his information on, his GPA and everything like that. And it sent out, it had like all these colleges connected to it. And he could literally, based on his GPA, see if he would be admitted into said school. And one of the reasons that he ended up choosing Stetson initially was just because he was able to get in with his academics already.
Yep.
And I was like, where was this when I was going to college? I didn't have a website I could just click on. We won't talk about my age. We won't talk about that. So, like we are in a definitely different time where now students can literally find resources like this where they can just put in their information and they can already see whether they're even getting accepted academically into some schools. Now, music, you have to still audition. They have to accept you into the music school, and you have to give a good audition and have some skills, like you can sing, play piano, whatever it is that you're trying to do. So there is still that, but I was just dumbfounded by the ability for that. And so what is your connection to with some of these other platforms that are already trying to get people in and help them sign up? What have you been experiencing with College Thriver?
So the main thing that we are experiencing is we hear this story a lot where students get accepted, but no one talks about the academic rigorous for the curriculum. And that is the biggest thing for College Thriver. We go a little more in depth to say, what are your strengths when it comes to English, math, reading, writing? Are you even prepared for this type of college? How do you know it's not an associate's or a community college? How do you know if it's not a career or technical college? So I would say that's where because yes, you can go in there and put in your information, but will that student continue in the education or studies, or will they drop out? Because for first generation and low income, we have the highest dropout rate in the nation. Wow. It's literally around 89% they drop out before the sophomore year. So that's like almost 90%. So it's a common theme is right now students are going to colleges parents recommended, guidance counselor recommended, or like you said, they may have found it on an app. Is that college the right fit based on what I academically can handle? And I think that that's where we are a little different because our algorithms go a little deeper than just GPA. Do you even have the study skills?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Do you even have the, whatever is really needed to, because a lot of students that we're talking to, they want to do amazing things. Aviation, these young kids, they want to come out making six figures. Mm-hmm. I've never seen this in my life. I'm like, I wish I had that mindset. All I did was I just wanted to get out of my hometown when I was in college. But yeah, they want to come out making six figures. And so, okay, that's a good goal to have.
Yeah.
What's the realistic path to help you get there?
Yeah.
And so I think that that's where we are just a little different because I hear the story a lot where, he got accepted and now he dropped out, or oh, she got accepted, and now, or oh, the culture wasn't a good fit. So all of those things we actually also have in our platform to just kind of give you more of an insight on what is your probability of being successful at this college, because at this time of day it's beyond academics.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to sit on this a little bit. We will get into the startup nuts and bolts about it. I do have questions about that. But as a person who teaches privately and as a music teacher, one of the things that I really advocate for people is taking music courses because music classes, because it allows you to learn how you learn. So a lot of times kids don't understand how their brain thinks, and no teacher in public school has the time to really always sit one-on-one with the student to help them work through those things.
Yes.
But surprise, surprise, a piano teacher has to do that because you have to use your eyes, you have to use your fingers, which is a fine motor skill. And so we get to know our students very, very well because we have to see how they learn and whether they are keeping the knowledge that they're supposed to learn, including and up to memorization.
Oh, I like this. I may have to incorporate some type of music into college.
I'm telling you, and this is the secret to a lot of education is get your kids into music early because it actually helps them build a relationship to learning that supersedes when they get into preschool, and secondary school, primary school, that kind of thing. And so I love the kind of work that you're talking about, and some of the things that we found in challenges in working with the African American community here in Pensacola is making sure that we understand how they are learning and how they're imbibing the information. So and I speak to my father a lot about what is the working relationship that people have to learning, because all this stuff is great. Like the Lean Stack, for example, working in Lean Stack is great if you can read and you enjoy reading. If you don't like reading or if you don't like listening and watching
for Chat GTP, right?
Listen, I'm telling you, if you don't like doing those things, you're going to feel like you're being tortured a little bit. But that's a part of the learning process.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so you all coming into with sixth graders to high schoolers, coming in and engaging them in this way and building up those strengths, I think that there's a lot to be said with that. I'm curious, and we'll take about 3 minutes with this, but I'm curious, what is it that you have set up with this algorithm, and how did you go about that for you? And you don't have to give any proprietary things away, but how did you go out building, like, this is what we're going to need to make sure that this works?
So I feel like I understand the problem a little more uniquely because I was the student and I have it as a career. So I'm on both spectrums. Most people only see one side of it. Either they didn't go to college or they did, or they know someone who works in education. I literally have both. This is what it's like as a student, and this is what it's like as I transition over to a student who's working to get into college. So when I built out the algorithm, it honestly started with just a vision. I just told I pitched my vision to a few developers, because I will say I'm non-technical, but I am the visionary. So I pitched it to a few developers. They gave me their feedback, and they told me, okay, these are the data sets that you need. This is how you want. And now I was more in control of the user journey. This is how I want them to feel. This is what I want it to look like. And these are the outcomes. But it was more so a collaboration of my vision to say, when this app is complete, these are the expected outcomes, and then finding a developer who can execute that. So I will tell you, it did take 4 years to bring this to market.
Yeah. Wow.
4 years. Yeah.
And this brings us into the startup journey, because bringing it into market, what does that look like? Now, is College Thriver an app? Is it like a whole thing like Goody Nation where you have a whole intranet where you have to go in and you dive in as a student, and you could have your personal counselor like BetterHelp.com?
I wish we would have taken an easy route, like because technology is so expensive. So we were actually a mobile app. Download it. Go download it right now. Actually, everyone, College Thriver on your iOS and on your Google Play. It is in the MVP, so don't expect perfection. But it has given us an opportunity to work with students one-on-one. I'm literally working with students side by side in their journey to see how do you integrate the College Thriver app into your day-to-day process. Because what we found out with students is they are waiting to the last minute. I have students who are contacting me. It's May, they graduate. They're reaching out January, February saying, oh my gosh, we haven't even applied to college. So for those last minute students, College Thriver is a game changer because we do the work for them.
Yeah.
Now, for students who start earlier in their journey, it's more so a game changer to make sure that they're choosing the right college on the journey and make them also aware of. So one thing that we do is we also let students know what resources are available. So for example, when I was in my freshman year, someone totaled my car.
Oh no.
I was on site at Florida A&M University. I wouldn't have been able to continue my college journey without a car. I needed a car. So I literally built this platform on everything that I went through. And I said, what if they need housing? What if they need cars? What if they need laptops? What are the resources? Because these are things, simple things that cause students to drop out of college. Yeah. Most of the time you move away from your family, you don't have direct support. My family didn't have the financial means to be able to support me. So you literally are looking at, dang, is this journey over? So we also connect them to those nonprofit organizations, and they usually offer these things for free. It's just they're not aware that those organizations are around. So it's more so like a resource center app. Right now match to colleges. You can look for scholarships and also get mentors. So maybe you should sign up as a mentor, Lord.
I see that. I was like, I need to jump on that.
You already are passionate about what you do.
Oh no, I absolutely. Because education is so important. Education is what unlocks you to do the things that you want to do. And as you found, like starting a business, starting a startup is an education in its own right, and finding that way you have to learn as you go along. So I'm curious for you, when did you officially launch the app? When did you officially launch that in?
So actually last year, August.
Last year in August, okay. Yes. And so you've had about 7-8 months on the market a little bit to kind of find your...
Well, that's just being visible to anyone. Like anyone now can download it. But we were doing the research and customer interviews, which is part of the reason I went through the 30-day program, because I needed to hone in on how am I going to charge? Because when I first launched, this was truly just a passion to serve. I never thought of how do I really make this profitable, to be honest. I just wanted to serve. And so joining that 30-day program, it really challenged me to say, how will you make money? How much money do you want to make? And because the value that we're bringing is changing people's lives. It really is. If I can get one student to the right school with a scholarship, they graduate and go off in their career and change their entire family's history financially. So what we're doing is like, can't really like, how do you charge somebody for changing their entire life?
Well, you said you're B2B. So one of the things that sounds like you've done is that you've partnered with organizations like Rollins College or something like that can afford the product, and then you integrate with what they're doing.
Yeah, so I will say a lot of schools, they do already have an allocated budget for, so like, for example, when they partner, they're taking it from somewhere. Is it their marketing dollars? Most likely it's marketing dollars, because we're literally sending them a funnel of qualified students. So one thing that I have been considering is actually introducing our model to parents. Because a lot of parents that I'm speaking with, they're like, oh, it's like pulling teeth trying to get their child to do this process, but they do it all for them because they want their children to be successful. So could they utilize a tool like College Thriver and then just have it drive the entire process for them?
Yeah. No, that's great. And of course, this was kind of a question that immediately popped into my mind after your explanation of what you're doing. Why not become a nonprofit as opposed to becoming a startup?
Yeah, so that's so funny. We actually did start as guys. I did it all, so I'm the perfect person.
Tell the people.
Yeah, so I actually started as a nonprofit because I was like, okay, since I love to serve, when you think of nonprofit, you think of serving, right?
Yeah.
Nonprofits are actually required. They need to make money to keep doors open. But the reason I pivoted is because I had so many people who were in the industry that's been here hundreds of years. They have the data, they have the outcomes. And it was just more challenging for me as a brand new to be like, give me all this money and I'm going to go change these students' lives. The moment I switched to say, okay, no, I'm in business to make a profit, the money started flowing because investors was like, well, it was twofold for me because I'm a social impact business. So my business is helping some type of economic or on a greater outcome. So investors are attracted to that. Secondly, you have to make money to get money back. So by them investing money, eventually when I charge and earn money, they'll eventually get their investment back. So I actually have seen more success as a for-profit than I did. And I think my first three, so when I first launched, it was nonprofit. Then I added a for-profit, and then I was going to set it up kind of like Goodwill, where they have for-profit and nonprofit. And I was just too complicated, and I couldn't keep up with all the nonprofit paperwork. I kept getting a notification like I need to be renewed. I'm out of compliance. I said, okay, that's it. I'm going to shut all that down. Let me just focus on for-profit, we've seen major success. We've secured over $150,000 so far to date.
Wonderful.
Yeah. But and that's one thing I want to share about my journey is you think that when you launch, you're going to be making six figures right away. We haven't even onboarded our first paid customer, but it's fine because as long as we see progress, as long as we continue moving forward, as long as we keep validating that what we are creating is a need, that's where people keep investing. So that's one of the things I wanted people, because a lot of people are like, can you really get investment without having revenue? Yes, you can. You just have to show proof that you're doing something else. So mine was interviews. I've been in so many amazing programs. I have investors, I have grants, pitch competitions. And so my visibility is continuing to bring in partners, resources, and funding. And we still haven't had our first paid customer.
Okay, no, then that's amazing. And we're celebrating 5 years next month, and so you're already into that space. So just kind of giving people that even though it's a booming industry as startups, there's a long haul aspect to it. And in business, 5 years is not a long time because you need to get through the 5 years to show that you can hold through it, like you said. But I just love the fact that you're putting one foot in front of the other, taking individual steps, and you are starting to see the money start coming in. Now, in that journey of getting the revenue, because people are about revenue, they want to see those dollars. What was the most pivotal thing that you learned in that journey through LeanStack when you were taking the 30-day business design model design course?
I would say understanding how to explain the business model because I knew when I would present it, I was like, oh, and we're B2B. No, you're B2B with what? How do you make money? What are your revenue streams? Is this partnership? Is this subscription? So just really understanding how to break it down so that I can speak the talk that investors want to hear, to be honest with you. And so the LeanStack, it was honestly like fighting with your ex-boyfriend because it does challenge you to like really, really like break this down. But in the end, I feel like it has really helped me understand my business because I'm so close to it. I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even feel guilty that I want to make money because of the change.
And that's really what I wanted to talk to you about, is that you came in with this passion to help people with their education. And then all of a sudden now you have to monetize that. For a lot of people, that's where they struggle with the lean canvas and the lean stack method, because it's like, oh, that doesn't work, so you need to throw that out. And you're like, wait, no, that is why I'm here. You know, you have this kind of fight that you have with yourself. So at what point was that transition the most impactful for you, whether it was lean stack or otherwise? When were you just like, no, this is, if I get this model right, people will pay attention because they know the dollars will be made. They're not paying attention if they just hear
for me, it was when I kept making it to a semifinalist I've made it to rounds for 50,000, 100,000, 25,000. This is semifinalist.
Mm-hmm.
But I never made it as a finalist because of the business model. Mm-hmm. So the message, the social impact, me as a founder, they love it.
Yeah.
But in order for us to give you this money, we need to see how you're going to be successful. And some of it was non-dilutive, which means that you don't have to give up equity, you don't have to pay it back, but they still want to see, how is this investment going to help you reach a next level? And they're looking for revenue, to be honest.
Yeah.
How is this going to help you get paid customers at the end of the day?
Yeah. No, that's amazing. And so just having that transition, what would you tell another founder about if they were struggling? If you saw some of your cohort members or something that you were in the demo days with, what would you say to them if they're really struggling to make that change to looking at their idea of being profitable? What would you say?
You take money to make money. So you need to make that money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just very straightforward. You can't really, because when you look at the expenses as a business owner, it doesn't even make sense for you to say, how am I going to do all these amazing things? I want to add in AI. I want to serve all of these kids, become a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Yeah.
You have to at least understand how you're going to get there. So it takes money to make money. You have to, even if you start small, and I would say that's probably one of the things when I first launched, I had no idea how to create that financial projection, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, how am I supposed to come up with how much money I want to make per year for the next 5 years?
Yeah.
I would challenge founders to sit down and just at least have a foundation, because what I'm learning is that it grows and it changes over time. Yeah. You just need to have a foundation right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How are you going to make your first 10,000, your first 20,000, your first 50? Most people think that they have to come out saying, oh, I'm making 150,000 the first year. And these investors will challenge you and say, how are you going to do that? So they're just looking for you to be honest and realistic.
Yeah. And did you use that traction?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, did you use that traction roadmap
Yes, I did use the traction roadmap. For me, the traction roadmap, it just actually made me understand how to explain, because I do a lot of stuff that I wasn't even giving myself credit for.
Wow.
Oh, wow. And as a solo founder, the things that I've done and what I've been a part of, I really should be like celebrating way more. But I really didn't track my success. Just because I love what I do. So that's another thing. Document your success.
Document your success.
If I had to say, because when one day you'll look back on it and be like, wow, I need to keep going. Yeah. When it's hard.
You see how many people have stopped way before where you currently are. You know what I'm saying? And so I love that about documenting your success. How have you documented your business processes up until this point?
Now that is where I need investment, 35 mules to hire an operations manager. So that's actually on my roadmap. I do need to, because my approach is unique, and I do feel like it could be documented in a way where I can turn this into like SOP, or like you said, you can even patent a process. People don't even know this. You can patent a process. You can patent a technique. So that is my goal as I continue raising more funding to bring in an operations manager, get all of my house in order on this is how this will be done. So
And I want to speak to that because one of the things you said about your algorithm, and we're going to get to that for the last couple of minutes, but one of the things you said is that you had a lot of consultants, like tech consultants, come in and talk with it. So instead of like making like a sort of like memorandum of understanding or promising a certain amount of the business or something like that with a co-founder or somebody coming in, you chose a consulting route to kind of help build each step of the way. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah. So I pretty much, and then so you just basically sign like an intellectual property rights to say, hey, even though you may be helping me formulate this or giving me ideas, I own the rights to this. So I'm the sole owner, no matter if they give you feedback, they build it, the technology, you are the sole owner. And so you just have that agreement signed up front.
And do you feel like that has been, I mean, obviously it's been helpful to build where you are now, but do you feel like this is an avenue that some startups choose not to do? Or how do you feel like?
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, you know what? I've heard horror stories where people, they give equity away, and then when they're trying to raise additional funding, that was a bad relationship and they can't get that person off their cap table. And so now it's holding up that next investment. Yeah. I've also heard horror stories where people have worked with consultants, and which is one of the reasons why it took me 4 years to bring this idea to market is because I kept hiring developers who couldn't execute. They would build, and I was like, I am not going to go present this to a school district. Like, it didn't look good. It wasn't even so
they weren't catching the vision.
Well, not even that. They were saying that they could do it, but they were not up to the level of expectation of what I wanted to stand by with my name.
Yeah.
So my first year I spent over $30,000 just trying to build the technology.
Wow.
Yeah. And you would not believe I only had a prototype and it wasn't even usable, and with 30,000. Yeah. So that's part of my learning curve. Is a lot of the money that I've raised was to make up for the money that I lost on things that some of them I was able to get my money back because, challenging it and, calling your bank. But some of it, I literally had to, like one company, they built when I tried a no-code platform because I was going to do no-code, they shut down after building my platform and I couldn't even use it anymore. Yeah.
Wow.
So all I had was the UX UI design, and I had to go and pay for someone else to build it. So
wow. And these are those pitfalls that there will be pitfalls along the way, and how you navigate those things is really important. And so I think in the space where it kind of sounds like you are now, if you want to have a co-founder, having someone jump in on the vision of what you're doing, that is going to be the biggest thing to kind of help push it forward to that. Has any of the investors or any of these other programs that you've participated in, have they given you ideas that you've wanted to step towards in regards to having people join your team?
So I have an amazing advisory board, and my advisory board, they run their own portfolio investment companies. I'm talking about billions of dollars. Wow. So that has helped me significantly because where I am in my process, I don't know if it'll make sense for a co-founder to step in. I've already laid the foundation and done the work. So I think more for me, I would want someone like a CMO, right? Who's going to do marketing, bring in the leads, help us be successful, or COO, like somebody to do, they have to do something, have a skill set opposite of what I've already done.
Yeah.
So if you just want to be a co-founder, no. I know education. You have to bring something else. If you a CTO or technology, that would be my number one choice. AI, that would be my number one choice. But one thing that I won't do that I was afraid to before, I was afraid to be like, oh, I'm getting a lawyer, we're signing these contracts. Oh no, you definitely need to do that.
Yeah.
Especially 5 years of what I've built, and especially being non-technical, it's easy for someone to come in and be like, oh, well, let's just go duplicate what she's doing. Let's go build our own platform. I've heard people say that that has happened to them.
Wow.
Yeah, where they go build a competitor. They were in their business, steal some of their processes and ideas, and then go build a competitor.
Yep, build a competitive product. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's incredible. And just hearing where you are today, we're so excited that you came through Startup on the Blocks to go through the 30-day. And
Yes, I need to sign up for the 90-day. Lloyd is texting me every cohort. Are you going to sign up for the 90? Or are you going to sign up? So I'll be ready for the next 90 days.
Speaking of the 90-day, we are currently, just this past Monday, we are in the 5th workshop of the 7-workshop series of the 90-day. Okay. And so coming up soon, we will have that presentation day coming up to see what all of those folks have been working on. Remember that our Black Founder Program is currently funded by Florida Power and Light. So if you are a Black founder in the state of Florida, we are getting ready to get more funding for this second half of the year of 2025. So we just had that meeting this morning. So I'm letting you know that the dates are coming up. Prepare yourself to put your ideas to the test and get out there and see if you can make your startup grow. And there's so many resources. I think, Shantia, you've just mentioned quite a few that you've been in, and then you told them, like, they didn't want any equity. They just want you to build it. They just want to make sure that they helped you get to where you are. So, my father doesn't do this, but I'm a gratitude person. So what are a few things that you are grateful for about this startup process that you want to kind of give a shout out to while we're on the line for a few more minutes?
Oh, wow. Well, you should have texted me that so I could have had it ready. But I would say the first thing that I am extremely, extremely grateful for would definitely be my support system, from my husband to my sister, because I run all of the ideas across them and I keep him up all night pitching. Give me feedback on my pitch. Hear my pitch again. Help me with my pitch. So it would definitely be my internal support system, my faith in God. I'm a woman of God. And so you have to have something that you believe in when you're in this entrepreneurial journey. Yeah. And then my second one would be amazing resources like Startup on the Block, Kakua Institute. I forgot the name. I'm about to say the wrong thing. I've been a part of so many organizations. But our first investors, Opportunity Fund, they invested $50,000 in 2022 when I was just at the idea stage. Wow. I didn't even have a website. So for those people that believed in me before I even believed in myself, because I thought it was just a great idea. I didn't start believing until I started seeing stuff happen.
When you see $50,000 hit that bank account, you're like, I guess I better do it.
Yeah, so I would definitely say, and thank you for that, because I think sometimes we forget to pause and just sit in that gratitude. So thank you. I needed that. Especially I quit every day in college. Started like, I quit today. So.
But see, this is what we need to hear. And I think other founders need to hear this, that it is a step-by-step process and you one foot in front of the other kind of thing. But I am a firm believer that business in these times, business needs to be fueled with a sense of gratitude and humanity. And I think it is possible to do that, but you have to do it with purpose. And just like College Thriver, you've started with the heart for that, and you've understood that you're going to put that heart into the business aspect of it. And that's where you're finding the support. And I hope that we're going to see you even a year from now doing that same kind of thing. And you're sitting on the big stages and telling people the work that you've helped hundreds of thousands of students find their way, because it's needed, and there's not a lot of people who can talk to kids to see how they're going to be inspired and what will really work for them. And so as you keep developing that algorithm and incorporating AI, we encourage you. That's my last little plug for tonight. I want to encourage you to come to the summit April 18th and 19th. Register, innovation.kakuainstitute.org. Get on there now and make sure that you know that you can find some things that can help spur that on. And if you're interested in being a panelist still,
I know this time don't go the wrong direction.
But no, my father will be in contact. He will be in contact. So we definitely love to see you up here and to see all the work that you're going through. Any last parting words before we go tonight?
No, I just to end on your note of gratitude, thank you for this opportunity to share my story. I just want to tell all the founders, if God calls you to it, he will see you through it. Keep going. Do not give up. And just focus on changing one life at a time, because I think we all we need 50,000 subscribers. We need 20,000 downloads. Get one first. And then let the rest just fall into place.
Amen. Thank you so much, Shantia Lee, College Thriver. We're looking forward to working more with you, and we're supporting you along the way at the Kakua Institute. Thank you all who came on tonight. I think we saw Veronica Burnett go on. Give us a little heart there. Thank you so much. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next Thursday for another Startup on the Blocks.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Here's a detailed breakdown of our Black Founders Program achievements and components. Program Reach and Impact, Global Reach, supporting over 500 founders worldwide, focusing on Black founders who often encounter systemic barriers in the startup ecosystem. Training and cohorts, delivered structured, hands-on training over the past 2 years. 9 30-day business model design cohorts, guided founders through designing scalable business models using the Lean Stack platform. 3 90-day launch programs, supported startups in validating demand, launching solutions, and refining their offerings. Our first Black Founders Innovation Summit attracted 92 in-person attendees and 182 registrants. Included networking events, speaker presentations, and panel discussions to provide diverse perspectives and practical insights. Training platforms used. Lean Stack, focused on scalable business model design and launch, with practical tools for customer discovery and validation. Startup Science provides education tailored to each phase of the startup lifecycle. Co-Founder OS measures entrepreneurial skills, offers certifications, and provides frameworks for building confidence in navigation the startup ecosystem. Patent Hacks trains founders on intellectual property, including patents and trademarks, to protect and leverage their innovations. Key goals and focus areas. Knowledge and resource bridging helps founders acquire critical startup knowledge, connections, and opportunities to secure funding and resources. Scalable Solutions emphasizes building sustainable, scalable business models to ensure long-term success. Diversity and Inclusion supports Black founders by providing a space where their unique challenges and perspectives are addressed. Event highlights over 200 consecutive weekly startup founder best practices events since October 2020. These provide ongoing support, practical insights, and networking opportunities for founders. 10 demo days, which serve as accountability milestones where founders pitch present progress, e.g. the 3P progress report, persevere, pivot, or pause. Focus on wealth creation in emerging industries, encouraging Black founders to participate in opportunities like AI and other tech innovations. The Black Founders Program reflects our strong commitment to equipping Black entrepreneurs with the tools, knowledge, and ecosystem connections they need to succeed.